Hello there, Bick Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War Reloaded on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on the fourth of 5 acts. Act 4 is entitled The Long Road Home, and 4-1 is entitled Campus Grinder, which is a lovely title. I love that title. So we are inheriting a torque bow from the previous stage. So I would recommend highly that you pick up as many torque rounds as you can during this fight, and also the long shot. Now, there's a sniper holding up in the building across the way, and you just saw one pickup for a sniper rifle. There's also one in the room that the sniper's hiding out in. He's got a sniper over there. If you kill him, he'll drop it, that's what I meant. There's also a boom in that room. There's also a pair of boomers that you fight at the end of the video that you can pick up their booms. But for this chapter, I would recommend having the long shot and the torque bow as your two primary weapons. The only thing that I don't like about this is that there is a path selection, and I don't mind the path selections, but I do have a problem with how they integrate into your traversal of the level. Because, like I said at the very end, there's two boomers that you kill, and then after you kill them, the fight's over, and any other enemies that are around will retreat, including the two enemies that are in a house behind the boomers that are snipers. So what can happen is, as you're attempting to loot the battlefield after the fight's done, it's on a timer so that you only get so much time to go around and grab the loot, and pick up ammunition for yourselves. I really hate that. There's two ways that you can have it happen. You can go up too close to the open gate where it triggers the path selection, or you could spend too much time circulating around the area looking for ammo pickups, and in either case you'll be transported to the fork in the road path. And it's unfortunate because why the hell can't I just have enough time, or all the time rather, that I need to go around and look for stuff that I earned by killing enemies. But there's a room on the other side of the area that a Theron comes out of, and then there's another Theron that comes from God knows where, I'm not sure. But like I said, there's a boom in here if you want that, and then you should also have the long shot that the sniper dropped. Now I'm going to play this one pretty aggressively because you might also notice that over to the left there's a building that has two snipers on it, but you don't have to kill the snipers if you kill the boomers. But as you're killing the boomers, make sure you're not placing yourself in the line of sight of the snipers. So you'll hear some pretty dramatic music as the boomers come in here and crash down the areas that give them entrance into this area. I would recommend a torque for the boomers because a boom shot takes like 3 or more, whereas a torque takes 1. So we've also got another Theron. And sometimes also another issue here is that the enemies that drop the weapons, you go after their weapons and then their fucking weapons have disappeared. And no cutscene has transpired or anything like that. The stuff just disappears. So you're going around trying to get ammunition as fast as you can, trying to pick up ammunition that might just as well have vanished and despawned. So it's quite frustrating. But the good thing is there's plenty of torque rounds and all manner of good stuff coming up. One of the boomers comes out of here, and you might think, well, you're going to be a little bit too close to him if he's over here. That's true, but I had a grenade for him, so I tagged him with it. And there's also a boomer over to the left. And this fight, I thought it was broken at the end because it was giving me all the time in the world to, like it would never transpire into the cutscene for the fork in the road path. But the issue was there was one stagnant enemy, and we'll fight him in just a moment. Because I think all the music had stopped, but somebody was still shooting, so I'll have to go track him down. And he ended up being near the entrance to the main fight where you start at. Over here. I love this chapter, by the way. Act 4 is my favorite act, and this is one of my favorite chapters from this act. He's behind here. I thought he was caught in geometry or something, but I don't know what the hell he's doing. His AI seems to be a little bit broken. But just be careful. You can snipe a lot of enemies from back there over to the right if you want to, but they can come over there sometimes. So be careful of that. Okay, so is he done? Nah. Now he's done. Okay, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. If I'm going to look around for a second, or if I'm just going to go to the gate. I think I'm just going to go to the gate because I had pretty much given up on the fact that I could get any ammunition in such a short time, trying to find ammunition that, again, probably despawned in the first place. So there's some frags back the way we came. What you want to do is rev your torque up here and stick this Theron with a torque bow arrow. Make sure it's fully charged, that amber color, so that it will kill him. Sometimes it takes 2 torques for some reason. I'm not sure why, even though I hit him with an amber charged torque round, fully charged. He must be doing some animations that are canceling out his getting killed. I don't know what he's doing. He must have some tricks up his sleeve. But this is a scenario. This is the left path, by the way. You're going to be down where your teammates are in path, on the right path. But this being the left path, you're up here giving your teammates an assist. So you'll want to do this. You have a choice of not doing it. But if you don't do it, when you're turning the wheel at the end of the sequence, it could be not accessible, and that means you haven't helped your team enough. It won't be altogether broken because you can still help your teammates from shooting enemies through the gate, but just kind of do what it wants over here so you don't get anything broken. There's going to be a grenadier over here with 2 wretches, so let the wretches come up to you, swipe at them, and then try to kill the grenadier with a boom shot if you can. Okay, I think he is dead. So there's going to be 4 wretches. There's 1, 2, and then the wretch up here, he sometimes will roar or scream. That's going to stun you. So that's the reason why I didn't go up to him and swipe him right away, because I was locked in place having been stunned. He doesn't do it all the time, and I don't know which ones can do it, but maybe there are preset ones, maybe there aren't. Switch out your long shot for the Hammer of Dawn here, and we're going to be using the hammer to stave off this cedar over here. And at this point, you don't need to worry about any other enemies that might come after you. Cysts can always get into tiny places, so you might, you know those flying cysts. Just be careful of those. Once you shoot this guy twice, he's going to withdraw back into the ground, and then you can use your power weapon or your Hammer of Dawn to steal the hole that spawns right in the middle of this gated area right there. So if it's not winding up, just move the reticle a little bit here and there. It should start winding up for you. If you're not comfortable with the wind up time there and the detection of the wind up time, switch to like the torque, and then that will just seal the hole just as well as the Hammer of Dawn, maybe even more consistently. But this is the wheel that I was talking about. If you hadn't helped your teammates enough, this wheel might not give you a button prompt to turn it. And what then will happen to you? Well, just go down the stairs and try to kill any enemies that you can see that might be still working with your teammates. So now you get a checkpoint. Just a second, you'll get a checkpoint, and then we have a room over here with 2 wretches. So what I would recommend is using either the long shot or the torque to melee kill the wretches. And then I like to stand behind a refrigerator that's over here because it's directly in front of, well, maybe not directly, but I like to just hide behind here and see if I can, no, we need to move a little bit, move out a little bit and take out the sniper from across the way. It actually works out pretty well. So what you want to now do is come down here. There might be some frags in the room behind us. This is a kind of an awkward area though, because you have ground-based locusts over here / grenadiers. You've also got a turret over to the left. It's quite far away. Also remember to take out these 3 wretches that come up from the broken concrete. It happens on each time you do the paths. And then there are some frags behind us. But what we need to do now to finish off this path is to take out the turret guy. So what I would recommend is when he's aiming elsewhere, stick him with a torque. That should be you should have done with him at that point. And then we're not going to completely conclude the level with traversal, but we'll just stop shortly right before it starts because we can proceed with traversal through the end of the video when we are done with the second path. Okay, so now reverting back to the right path, I would say that this is the harder of the paths. I'm going to stick this Grenadier here with a torque, kill him, switch to my frags, come on over here, and because you killed him, you'll have Therons and Grenadiers and drones coming over here, and if you throw a bunch of frags, you can maybe get anywhere from 1 to 3 kills on that. Plus, you'll be getting all your frags back, so you needn't worry too much about it. But just realize that on the first path, remember when Dom was asking for your support? Well, now you're in their situation and you're depending on their support. So stick to the good old torque here, because you've got a couple of Therons in this fight. You'll get plenty of drops back. And then when everybody comes up to you, we're going to be moving on. Be careful, there's no checkpoint quite yet. So I'm going to scour the environment, hoping that none of the ammunition despawned on me. So please bear in mind as I just reconnoiter the environment very quickly to see what is left for me to pick up. And it turns out that there is a long shot over here. So once you mantle over that, the fight starts, but I had to mantle back and pick up the torque for myself and then come over here. And then we're going to have a seeder in this room. This is the seeder that you took care of from second or third floor building on the first path. So that's why I say this path is a little bit more difficult. Now, always be careful of getting too close to comfort for these fucking grubs, because they can capitalize on it. Now, of course, since this is a seeder that we're dealing with, we'll have to find and equip a Hammer of Dawn, but you're always given a Hammer of Dawn. The main thing is just to locate it. So I'll show you where it is, and that will allow you to locate it. So I switch my long shot for the hammer, and I intend to use my hammer, of course, on both of these. I could aim if I wanted to, but I guess I'm just too lazy. 2 bursts, and then remember that grub hole from earlier? You have the same thing here with the grub hole spawning in between this gated area right here. And yet again, I could have aimed and it wasn't working, so I do start to aim in just a second. So, blind firing or a Hammer of Dawn. I guess you have to fault me for my being, ignorant about that, and it being my bad completely. Okay, so now we're going to ask the teammates for their help in opening this gate. Remember, we opened it for them in the previous path. So come on down here now, and don't worry too much because you have a checkpoint. There's a Lancer and some ammunition down here. And then you've got, I believe, since you do get a checkpoint over here, I believe it is the last courtesy as far as a checkpoint that the game is going to be giving you for this chapter. So on this section, there's up to like 5 of the wretches. So when you do spawn those wretches, just let them jump over the sandbags and jump over to you and swipe at them safely from cover back here. I mean, you don't even need to be in cover, just stand somewhere where you can't get hit by gunfire. And your teammates can interrupt their pathfinding, but by and large, the wretches know exactly where you are, and they'll come find you without too much hassle. So yes, chapter by chapter, I will be recommending loadouts at the very beginning of the video. But my loadout for 4-2 will be the same as the loadout that I end this chapter carrying. So what is that? That will be the long shot and the torque bow as many frags as possible and the snub. There was a snub back there in that Hammer of Dawn area when we were killing the Cedars. I would recommend picking up the snub only because you don't get too many pickups for it on the campaign. And it's a much faster gun than the Boltok, even though it's slower. The Boltok is slower. This rate of fire is shit. Over here, don't go up too far. Just wait till Marcus starts talking and then turn back. Just turn back. Because what can happen there is if you go up too far, an enemy can, I'm not saying you will, but an enemy can run up to you while you're locked into a conversation. It's the bane of the game. It's this game's leitmotif of horrendous dog fucking shit. And that's what they do. They lock you in conversations that you can't defend yourself against because you have to talk to headquarters and just stand there. While a fight is, while an enemy is running at you and shooting at you, you just stand there, man. You just stand there getting shot and killed. It's lovely. But I found out that if you just stand there and let the conversation playing out without him putting his 2 fingers to his ear, that takes care of the conversation so that once all the talking is done, then you could proceed forward. But by that time, you probably won't even have an enemy running at you, so it defeats the purpose. But come on, fix that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? This should have been fixed. Was it just a quick cash grab? You shitty assholes, or did you want to improve the quality of the game and improve its integrity? I'm leaning towards cash grab right now because I don't see any improvements in those latter areas. I see laziness and ignorance and ego, just flat out ego, thinking that this will suffice when it clearly has something wrong with it. Okay, depending on how many enemies you've killed now will depend on how many will greet you in this location. Since we've killed everybody, we don't have anything to worry about. But there is that turret guy to deal with if he hasn't been taken care of. So I would approach him from up here since you're more safe, and just nail this guy with a torque bow for the safety of this upper floor. Can't get the reticle on him very much, but I do believe he's dead. And I know for a fact that we're concluded now with the first chapter of Act 4. And very presently, you and I are going to be seeing each other on the second chapter. And until then, please continue to take care.